The content of this podcast is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended as, nor should it be considered a substitute for professional medical advice.
Sweaty and pissed. Menopause makes me sweaty and pissed. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. This is weird, but fun.
We're on Zoom doing Sweaty and Pissed, Menopause and More. And I'm Karen Nickell, nurse practitioner.
And I'm Leanne Morgan, comedian.
Looking fabulous on her video.
Thank you.
Did Tess do your makeup this morning?
Yes, Dan.
Honey, that's not fair that you have a makeup artist in your home. That is not fair.
I know. But I blew my hair out. Can you tell how pitiful that is? And look at my roots.
Well, honey, check this out. Look at that. What? And now my hair's so long, I'm going to have to get long hair tips from you. I'm serious.
Mine's like a blanket. I look like Winona Judd. Well, no, I look like Carol Baskin in Joe Exotic.
You know what? I've only seen one episode of that. I haven't even seen the whole first episode. I saw part of it.
Why? Why haven't you sat down and plowed through that?
Well, I don't. Once again, Karen with no time, but yeah, it's interesting. Have you seen the whole thing?
Oh yeah, twice.
For those who don't know, if anybody on the planet besides me doesn't know, this is Tiger King, right? Tiger King, is that
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and a story of a bunch of bizarre people who own big cats, and it's a whole thing.
Well,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, but I loved it. I mean, I thought I was disturbed, but I was fascinated by it.
It seems like a fascinating human study for sure. So on your hair looks fabulous. Are you having to wear your clip-in weave thing anymore?
Oh no, I haven't worn that in a long time. Are you talking about my halo? That little thing, that thing that makes me look like Carrie Underwood?
Yeah, that.
No, because when I'm having hot flashes, when it's hot on my back, it's like wearing a blanket on my head, and I've really got a lot of hair everywhere.
Yeah,
except right here. And my hairdresser said that's what happens when you age, that starts thinning out, and the halo doesn't go there. So I still look thin right here, and then I have this big gob of hair going down my back. But no, I've got it. It's in my closet. It needs to be washed and redone, but I bet I won't be wearing that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good that you have enough hair that you don't have to wear that thing.
Yeah. And I've been using a product from Oribe, Oribe, that you spray in your hair, and it's kind of like Latisse for your scalp.
Yeah. I think we can, a couple of compounding pharmacists are compounding a solution. I know we need to try it together and be the test, do little before and after photos. We can share them with everybody.
Is little Heartland doing it?
I think so. Yeah. But they're like, so, and I think there are solutions that not only just stimulate growth, but I think it has some, hi puppy, it has some.
That's my beagle, honey. She hears a cat or something. Squirrel.
Well, I had to shut my bird, or forest bird actually, down in the downstairs bathroom, and she was looking at me like I was a nut job, rolling her cage in there. But anyway. I think it has some stuff in it that decreases DHT, which is a form of testosterone in your scalp, because that's what causes a lot of that frontal loss. Honey, we gotta get that on board for both of us.
So we can call little Suzette at Heartland Pharmacy, and they can do it.
Yeah, and if they're not doing it, I know a couple of the other pharmacies that are doing it.
What do? You just rub it in?
Solution. I think they have a shampoo and a solution.
Is this something new that nobody's heard of yet, or what are you saying to me?
Leanne's like, where has this been? I think they are recently formulating it because it's such a big problem. And I think they've been formulating it for the hair, those hair places that do plugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the compounding pharmacies have been formulating, and they're finally, I've been trying to get the secret formula for a while, and now they're finally coughing it up.
Because everybody I know our age has got it's spinning around here. And I'm shocked that you can still do your bangs. There's no way I can do bangs. Like my bangs look like
what?
I can see through them.
Well, these are getting pretty thick. Well, honey, I mean, and I need some long hair tips. Come on now. So,
honey, I'm so hot when I'm weak in my arms that it really. I understand now. Little old women going to a beauty shop and getting a shampoo and set. I get that now. I remember going with my grandmother. She'd babysit me, and I'd go to Ellen's Beauty Shop in Adams, Tennessee, and they'd give me a Coca-Cola. And I'd sit up there, and they would put rollers in my hair and set me under the dryer. But it really, at a certain age, it's so hard for me to just take the time and blow all that out. And I sweat. Right now, my hot flashes aren't bad, but when I'm having hot flashes and trying to blow dry my hair, then my makeup beads up.
Yeah.
And then my hair, my scalp's wet, and I just can't. It's terrible. And I have friends say the same thing. They can't blow their own hair out now. Yeah. I mean, you just go somewhere wet-headed, and then this is slicked down.
All flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We can try. I'll send in
That's good to know.
I'll send in a prescription for that solution. Do you want the shampoo too? Or do you have a special shampoo you use?
I have a special shampoo because I don't mean to be gross, but I've always had this yeast on my scalp. My dermatologist, I've gone to him for years over it, and there's a certain shampoo that doesn't bother me. It doesn't cause irritation, and because it gets very irritated and itchy, and then it can bleed. I know.
Is it just?
They said it was a yeast, and they gave me, and now that's over the counter, and you get it at Walgreens. But Nickell or NI, yeah,
Izerel,
and that helped with the yeast, but just ruined my hair because my hair is colored. And Chuck and I went to what I call the trailer prom. He works for a mobile home company, and we have these big meetings once a year. And you get a long gown, you get a tuxedo, and it was a big weekend thing and a big night and a gala and all that. And we were in Texas, and we went to that year's trailer prom, and I'd been using that Nickell, that with the N.
Yeah.
And my hair.
What did it do?
Looked like hay, and like a witch, but hay, and it like somebody just went and then took a match to it and burned it. It was the pitifulest looking, and it was just ruining my hair.
Do you have a picture? Do you have a picture of that?
I do. I have a picture of that trailer prom somewhere, and it's not pretty.
Well, listen, that would be fun to dig out and show our listeners.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll find it. Yep, I'm a sight.
Well, that's interesting because I think the shampoo that they compound has ketoconazole in it, which is an antifungal.
And could you use the shampoo with colored hair?
I'd have to check into that.
So I could use, if I didn't use that, I could use the spray. I mean,
the solution, yeah.
And you just rub it in.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's revolutionary.
I know. I got a form, from one of the compounding pharmacists, and they had all these different mixtures. I'm thinking, where's this been? I mean, hair loss and fatigue, that's what I deal with all day long.
Hair loss and fatigue.
Yeah. And low libido. Weight gain. Those are the top 4. Yeah.
Yeah. And exercise would take care of 3 of those, right?
Would certainly go a long way. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not the hair loss, but.
Yeah, right. Well, exercise does help your hormone balance. So that so it might help the hair a little bit, maybe.
Oh, well, I've been out during the COVID. I've been out walking my dogs and getting a lot more exercise.
Mm-hmm. Well, good.
To keep from going nuts.
It's been tricky. It's been tricky.
You've had a lot of people that have been sad and anxious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and now we're how many weeks into everybody's staying home? At least 3 or 4? 4. And I think, everybody's getting a little cabin fever. And it doesn't help that I think we're having the most beautiful spring we probably had in a long time. Partially because the sky is so clear, everything looks so beautiful and crisp, and our blooming trees are fantastic. And so it makes you feel like you want to get out and go, and we can't go and do. We've got to, although the walking's a good thing.
Well, and I just read something on Twitter this morning about running, and some are saying that it could be dangerous to get out and run, that you need to wear a mask. And I'm like, I don't know the science of that, but do you think that's
specifically running versus walking?
Well, this article was about running, and they just said, I guess particles maybe landing on some.
I guess maybe if you're in a densely populated area where you're running on a trail or track that, where a lot of you're passing a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe
that's the thing. It's like, a little pathway like at our park here in Knoxville Lakeshore. It's a beautiful walking path, paved, but you're going to pass people.
Yeah,
and not be 6 feet apart.
Yeah, and I have not gone. I used to go there all the time, and I haven't been since this because I thought it'd probably be too many people.
Mm-hmm. So when you're walking around your neighborhood, are you able to do social distancing? Okay.
Oh yeah, out in Farragut on this trail. Yeah, and I've got beagles with me, and they're howling. So people get their dogs away, even though mine aren't mean, but they just cause a lot of ruckus.
Make a fuss.
I also go to arboretums, and and there's nobody out there. Like a mama with a little lunchbox and some little children.
Well, Forrest said, he likes to walk the trails at Imes, which Imes in Knoxville is a urban park, and with a lot, I don't know how many miles of trails it is, like 43 miles of trail, some crazy number. But anyway, he said he went there and it was crawling with people. So he just stayed in his car and turned around and went back because he's practicing good social distancing.
Yeah. Yeah. But in my neighborhood, I'm fine and I can walk through other neighborhoods. But what I thought was sad was the little children, mamas and daddies in my neighborhood. We're like the old people now. And people are like, hey, when are y'all downsizing and moving out? And I'm like, well, we're only 54, but all these young professionals are moving in our neighborhood, and they've all got little children, and they are very social, and they go up to the pool, and the little children swim, and the mom and daddy sit out there and talk, and they had a ball last summer, and I just felt, I bet you they're not going to get to do it. Mm. And I feel sorry for them because that's so cute up there, our little pool, and I bet they won't open it.
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
The whole summer?
Probably. Leanne, I'm always the bearer of bad news for you.
Well, these little mom and daddies need to go and get a baby pool right now before they sell out and sit in their backyard and let their little baby splash in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do if I had little kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, well, I was going to say those slip and slides, but I think people break their necks on those things.
Yeah, especially if they squirt Dawn on them.
That's
how crazy.
Well, speaking of things being out, that would be the next thing everybody had to run on was kiddie pools. But it's amazing what you can't get right now. Like everybody's making masks, homemade masks. Well, you can't buy elastic to put on the mask to put behind
Yeah.
your ear. You
Yeah.
can't get elastic.
Well, and I know everybody's bought the rubbing alcohol,
Yeah.
but I went to look for hydrogen peroxide because I have a comforter that's got a big yellow stain on it, and it said that you could use water, baking soda, and hydrogen peroxide and let it set and scrub it in. And I can't find any to. What are people doing with that? Are they using that instead of rubbing alcohol for a sanitizer?
Yeah, it's a really good thing to put like in a spray bottle and spray, like even your pets, because there's, the pets can get the virus on their body. And so it would be a safe thing to spray on your pet if like say your pet got loose while your dog got loose while you're walking and ran up to somebody and they pet the dog and you're going, oops. You could spray hydrogen peroxide.
Oh.
Probably vets everywhere are saying, Karen, what do you know about it? But it's a safe way to disinfect them. So it's a good disinfectant that is really safe. I mean, you could spray it on hard surfaces and, so if you ran out of Clorox wipes, which I don't know have you seen those on the shelves when you've been on the store?
No.
Okay. My husband does all the shopping since I'm a medical person and don't want to be around other people and expose them. So anyway, I haven't seen whether that's back on the shelves or not. But anyway,
no, it's not that I've seen.
So if you have a bottle of hydrogen peroxide sitting on your shelf, it's a good thing to use as a home mixture to spray on things.
And rubbing alcohol is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got plenty of that, having a makeup artist in the house. And I don't know why I had all this rubbing alcohol, but I didn't have any. I always have hydrogen peroxide, but maybe since my kids have left home, I just didn't keep it. If there was a.
Yeah. Yeah. The nice thing about the hydrogen peroxide is if you had to spray it on your dog, if your dog had a little skin irritation or something, it wouldn't burn,
Yeah. Well, my little mom and daddy have run out of everything, and there's no way to get any more.
Oh.
He has to use gloves with her. He's taking care of her 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I ordered this big box of gloves, and it came, and Chuck was like, how many, Lord? He goes, that's like a lifetime. I don't know how many boxes, but I can take them to my dad.
I can't believe they actually came already. I mean, because a lot of times when you order them, they're not. They say this will be available June 30th or something.
Yeah, I don't know why, but we got those. Other things I can't get. I did get all my blueberries in light syrup because I make a good Jello salad that my family likes. And you can't find it in stores.
Oh,
it's Oregon. Is the brand, and it's organic blueberries in light syrup. And because I'm, in the country, we love a Jello salad. And this one was made by my good friend Angie Fishman, and she brought it to me when I was breastfeeding Tess. And I thought Chuck was going to cry. He loved it so much. So I've made that for years. And anyway, I ordered these blueberries, and it came at 8. And from Amazon, it cost me like $30. But I've got enough blueberries in light syrup to get through.
Is this in a can or a jar?
It's in a can. And you put it in blackberry Jello with crushed pineapple. And you let that congeal overnight. And then the topping is Cool Whip, powdered sugar, and cream cheese. And you whip that together and you put it on the top. And then if you want to, you can put chopped pecans on the top of it. And blackberry Jello is hard to find. But I found it at our Ingles last night while they were playing Belle Biv DeVoe. Remember them? I thought I'm going to start dancing, clubbing at the Ingles because I haven't been anywhere. But anyway, they carry this specialty blackberry Jello because you don't see that.
No, I don't think
Do people in Kansas make Jello salad?
They do. They do. My mother wasn't a Jello salad person, but when we went to the church potlucks, and there were always Jello molds. But yeah, I've never been a Jello person, but that sounds good, actually.
It's very good. It's very light. And Chuckina's about to leave to go. Are you going to work? He goes,
hi, Chuck.
Karen said, hey. He said, hey. I'm going to have that blueberry salad for tonight. He'll be so tickled. And Maggie loves it, my middle child.
Yeah.
I'm going to make her one and go and slip it in her car, I guess.
Well, I hope it won't be too hot. Well, it's cool today, so maybe that'd be okay.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, go to your car in 5 minutes. Like we're in Russia.
I know. Secret Jello passing. Wow. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good.
But anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been making Jello. I make Jello salads a lot because my little mama can eat them. She has to have everything pureed. Oh. And I put on Facebook that she has to have pureed food, and people go, what is pureed food? And, because I have my own language, but I said pureed. But she can eat Jello salad easy, and it's, good for her. And so I've been on this Jello salad kick.
Yeah.
During the COVID. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's talk just a sec about, I was drinking a little wine when it first happened. I was at night, I'd think, oh, wine, COVID, quarantine. And then, we kept being in quarantine, and I was like, my joints are aching, and I don't feel good, and I got a headache. And I thought, I really don't need to be doing this every night, so I stopped. Now, I had a margarita last night because I made tacos, but
that sounds good.
It was very good. And I got the roasted corn at Costco, the street corn, the Mexican street corn at Costco, and Trader Joe's has it. And I know corn's not good for us, but every once in a while you got to have some corn. Anyway, I made that last night, and I had a margarita, but I do think it's easy to self-medicate during a stressful time. Mm-hmm. And I thought, for me, I need to get out and walk. I need to do a jazzercise video on my back porch with an exercise bra on. I don't need to sit here and drink myself to death. What good is that going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's smart of you to A, recognize it, and B, do something about it. But
do you feel like people, in our time of life, sitting thinking, well, I'll just have a glass of wine, and that can imbalance hormones, can it?
Yeah, I think one thing it can do is certainly worsen, what we call vasomotor symptoms, because it dilates your blood vessels. So it can worsen hot flashes, and it can worsen allergy symptoms. People are more stuffy and headachy and, that kind of thing. So people usually feel worse the next day, even if it's not a hangover type worse, but, just stuffy and puffy and hot flashing and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I know that during all this, I've watched different people on social media and say, I've led the charge of making a chocolate chip bundt cake that has probably made, people have made it all over the United States and sent me pictures, and it is yummy. But we can do that every once in a while. But for the most part, we really do need to be eating well and getting a lot of sleep during this and exercising and moving our bodies, because we don't want to wake up from the COVID and be sick.
Yeah.
From the, if sat here and had bad habits on top of being stressed out and sad.
Right.
And worried.
Right. Yeah. And I think that, one thing I've even found for myself is that this time gives us even more time to rest and just like my weekends are usually just packed with stuff because I work all week long, and now I don't have all this stuff scheduled, and I'll, like, middle of the day Sunday, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of time in the day. Who knew? So it's a good time to just rest and do some things you maybe haven't had a chance to do around the house, or if you haven't been exercising, start an exercise regimen.
Mm-hmm.
Their
Read.
company, they're that's another thing you can't find, or jigsaw puzzles.
Jigsaw puzzles. Everybody's ordered them off of Amazon.
Yes, I heard an interview with a woman who owns a company that makes jigsaw puzzles, and she said their sales are up 300%. I mean, they don't even have any stock left on the shelves. They're just...
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I've got puzzles here. I've got those. But you know what I wanted to do? Is paint by number. I thought, I'm going to order a paint by number, but I wonder if they're getting sold out.
Yeah. Or even those coloring books, the adult it's just sort of a similar idea, because it tells you what colors to put in what and all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't paint by number. So did you find one online?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they are darling. I mean, you can get different scenes and they're sweet. And I thought maybe I should do that. And also Chuck's a good painter, and he paints with chalk paint, our furniture and stuff. And I thought I'll order chalk paint and have Chuck paint. And he was like, I've painted all I can paint. I'm not going to do any, but there's things we're trying to do to our house and that kind of thing. Because when I go back on tour,
mm-hmm.
I'm not, I won't be living here. So I'm trying to do things. And so I found these comforters that my girls had in college, and I cannot give away. I mean, I'm giving it away. But I don't want to give away a comforter. I don't want to donate a comforter. It's got a big yellow stain on it. So I'm trying to get all their dorm bedding and all their, when they've had apartments and had full bedding and all that, I'm trying to get all that cleaned up, and we're getting it bagged up, and we're donating it to YWCA for women that have been displaced, and they need clothing and bedding and towels and all that.
Perfect.
So that's been good to get that.
Yeah.
You've
been really productive.
No, but I'm trying to be. Yesterday, when my youngest lives here right now, because, she came home from New York from makeup school, graduated, and then, poor thing, now has to live with us until this is over. And she hates it.
Yeah, she did complain to me about that a little bit.
She did. Yeah.
Well,
and I remember going home with my parents at different times and thinking, I'm going to slap their teeth out. And she looks at us like, don't you dare say a word to me. And we said to her last night, we know how you feel. We know this is because she had meetings in LA and all these things that were going to happen, and they're not happening now. And so,
it's a difficult enough transition right out of school to enter the job market, but then to have it come to a screeching halt is really rough.
Yeah.
So I don't blame her for being.
But she said, can somebody let me practice a burn? Put a burn on your foot or your head and make you bald. I mean, she's used to doing all these special effects. So she made a burn on Chuck, and she made on Charlie's wife, Mary. And she did my makeup this morning. And I wish she'd had time to put false eyelashes on me. But anywho, we didn't have time for that. But she's pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is all a time of learning and, reflection, and we can all tell our grandchildren we went through something historical. This is like the Spanish flu.
Yeah. It's hopefully will not be another thing like it in our lifetime. Hopefully. Yeah. It's a journey for sure. Yeah.
And you think, Karen Nickell, that I know I ask you every day. I can do well. We don't even have to talk about me doing theater shows. Let's not even talk about that because we don't know. All right, but you think by summer, maybe with a lot of caution,
Mm-hmm.
they can start letting some people go back to work
Mm-hmm.
with social distancing.
Right. And, hand sanitizing stations, and make sure there's a sink to have soap and water, and in addition to hand sanitizer. And we may be wearing masks for a while, and so maybe we should look for some stylish things in terms of masks.
I just ordered some.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Ms. McClellan in Knoxville has to keep their tailors busy.
Oh.
Started making masks, and the proceeds go to, partial proceeds go to our food bank.
That's brilliant.
In Knoxville. And they have beautiful fabric. You can imagine it, Ms. McClellan. That is our hoop-de-doo store in Knoxville. And and so they've got women and men's, and darling. Mm-hmm. So they've made those and given it to Harvest Food Bank.
See, I mean, there's been a lot of innovation that's come out of all this, and I think people are, strangely enough, with social distancing, I think we're all figuring out how to be better connected. It's interesting, really interesting.
And also, real quick, I know we need to get off here, but you made me feel better the other day when you told me that all these companies around the world are racing to get a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, in this big world and all the smart people, somebody's going to come up with a vaccine.
Oh yeah, and they're a lot of them are coming at it from different angles. I mean, some of the methods are really non-traditional for a vaccine. So, it may improve our whole vaccination process, not just for COVID-19, but for other vaccines.
Oh, how wonderful.
I think a lot of good things will come from this.
I do too.
It's hard right now, but I think a lot of good things will come from it. And our earth is breathing a sigh of relief because we're not putting so much carbon in the air, and skies are beautiful, and I mean the Cumberlands and Smokies right now, stunning.
And we can drive through the Smokies. We just can't stop because they've closed all that down, right?
So they've closed the park itself. But you could probably drive through, on the Blue Ridge Parkway and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we live in a beautiful area.
Yes, we do. Would still be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my darling. Well, good to chat with you today.
It's good to talk to you, and we'll work on our hair study, a new project.
I know women are going to be.
That might help our mood.
Yeah. If I knew new hair was growing in.
That might be all it takes.
I know. And then, of course, I'll have to get back to my little Kippy Kip who colors my hair, who I love. And I wish he'd just move in here with my family.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Yeah.
And he's not working,
I know, it's hard.
I know, but Kip's the most important man in my life. Chuck came down and goes, good to know. Even though Chuck, you probably could highlight my hair. He's very anal retentive and type A. He would do a perfect job.
Is he rolling his eyes over there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, all right, my darling.
We'll talk in a couple weeks.
Okay.
See how you're doing. Checking in.
All right. Okay. Thank you, my darling. Good
everybody be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. All right.
Bye.